Welcome back to Adventure Freaks. I'm Ray, and today I want to acknowledge what many of you have shared with me. America doesn't feel the same anymore. It's more divided, more polarized, and for many of you it feels less connected, less friendly. And perhaps that's led to a question you never thought you'd ask. What if I needed to leave? And where could I go? Well, if you've ever wondered what your options might actually look like, today's video is for you. I'm going to show you 5 countries Americans can escape to in 48 hours and start living immediately. In this video, we'll cover what makes each of these countries so easy to move to quickly, how affordable they are to live in, what the lifestyle is actually like once you're there, and why so many expats and retirees are choosing them right now. And make sure you stick around until the end because our last 2 countries offer some of the simplest long-term stay options of them all. And they're ones you probably haven't thought of. Now let's dive in. Hi, can Ernest and I ask you a favor? If you find our content helpful, please hit that subscribe and like button. It truly helps us grow, and it makes Ernest happy. And the first country on our list is Vietnam. Vietnam is one of the most visually stunning and affordable countries Americans can quickly move to in Southeast Asia. From the emerald waters and the limestone cliffs of Ha Long Bay to lush rice terraces in the north, tropical beaches along the coast, and vibrant cities full of energy and street life, Vietnam offers a level of natural beauty and everyday vibrancy that instantly feels different from life in the United States. One of the biggest reasons Vietnam has become such a popular expat destination is how accessible it is to enter and stay. Americans can typically arrive on a tourist visa or visa exemption, depending on current rules, and many long-term expats use what are known as visa runs to extend their stay. While some people fly to nearby countries, many living in southern Vietnam simply take a bus or van to a border crossing and return the same day, often for just $30 to $60 round trip, making it one of the cheapest long-term living setups in the region. Now, when it comes to cost of living, Vietnam is where things really stand out. In Da Nang, a coastal city known for its beaches and relaxed lifestyle, modern apartments typically range from around $400 to $700 per month. In Ho Chi Minh City, you'll usually find decent modern apartments in good areas for roughly $500 to $1,000 per month. And in Hanoi, the capital, you can still live very affordably with apartments typically ranging from around $350 to $800 per month, depending on the neighborhood and building. Healthcare is another major factor. Private healthcare is affordable by Western standards, with routine visits often ranging from around $20 to $60. Many expats also use private insurance plans, and they can range anywhere from $50 to $250 per month, depending on coverage. But beyond the numbers, what really keeps people here is the lifestyle. Life feels more social, more active, and less rushed. There's a strong street culture, constant movement, and a rhythm of daily life that many Americans say feels completely different from back home. For a lot of expats, Vietnam isn't just an affordable place to live, it's a completely different way of life that makes staying longer feel natural. And the next country up on our list is Costa Rica. Costa Rica is one of the most popular lifestyle escape destinations for Americans looking for stability, nature, and a slower pace of life in Latin America. And when you see it, it's easy to understand why. Costa Rica is famous for its incredible natural beauty, from dense rainforests filled with wildlife to volcanic mountains, waterfalls, and both Caribbean and Pacific coastlines that feel untouched in many areas. One of the biggest advantages here is how simple it is for Americans to enter. U.S. passport holders typically receive up to 180 days of tourist stay on arrival in most cases, without needing to apply in advance. When that time runs out, many long-term visitors don't immediately apply for residency. Instead, some do what's commonly referred to as a visa run, just like Vietnam. leaving the country briefly and returning to receive a new entry period. Common exit points include nearby Nicaragua or Panama, either by land, border, or short regional travel. Now, when it comes to cost of living, Costa Rica is more expensive than Southeast Asia, but still more affordable than the United States in many areas. In popular beach towns like Tamarindo or Puerto Viejo, rentals typically range from about $800 to $1,500 per month, depending on location and proximity to the coast. In more inland towns like Atenas or Grecia, you can still find apartments closer to $700 to $1,000 per month outside the main tourist areas. Healthcare is another major reason people choose Costa Rica. The country has a respected public healthcare system, along with strong private clinics widely used by expats. Many retirees also use private insurance plans that typically range from about $100 to $250 per month, depending on age and coverage. But what really draws people here is the lifestyle itself. Costa Rica is known for its pura vida culture, or pure life, a slower, more relaxed and outdoors-focused way of living where it feels less rushed and more connected to nature and well-being. For many Americans, Costa Rica becomes a place where life feels simpler, calmer, and more grounded, surrounded by nature, stability, and a strong expat community. If you've been thinking about moving abroad, but you're still stuck on where to go or even where to qualify, well, you're not alone. That uncertainty is exactly what holds most people back. That's why we created our Ideal Destination Finder, a simple 25-question assessment designed to cut through the noise. It looks at your lifestyle, budget, goals, and preferences and gives you your top 3 best fit countries to move to. No more guessing, no more endless research, just clear, personalized direction that saves you time, money, and a lot of frustration. And if you're that kind of person that wants more clarity, someone to talk things through with, I offer one-on-one consultations where we can map this out together based on your exact situation. If you're ready to move forward, head over to adventurefreaks.com. You can scroll down a little and you'll see the ideal destination on the left. Just click it and get started. On the right, you can book a consultation with me. Pick a time that works for you. It's that simple. We'd love to help you finally get clear and take the next step. And the next country up on our list is Tunisia. Tunisia is one of the most overlooked but surprisingly affordable lifestyle destinations for Americans looking for something completely different. And this is where the list takes a turn, because Tunisia doesn't feel like your typical expat destination. Located in northern Africa along the Mediterranean Sea, it blends Arabic, French, and Mediterranean influences into a lifestyle that feels both familiar and completely new at the same time. From ancient ruins and historical coastal cities, to whitewashed towns overlooking turquoise water, to desert landscapes stretching inland, Tunisia offers a level of variety most people don't expect before arriving. One of the biggest advantages here is how simple entry is for Americans. U.S. passport holders can typically enter Tunisia visa-free for up to 90 days, making it easy to arrive and begin living without upfront residency requirements. And for many who stay longer, it often comes down to simply leaving briefly and returning when needed. It's a commonly used approach among long-term travelers who want flexibility without immediately committing to formal residency. Now, what really makes Tunisia stand out is the cost of living. In cities like Tunis or coastal areas such as Sousse or Hammamet, modern apartments can often be found ranging from $300 to $700 per month, depending on location and quality. Everyday expenses like food, transport, and dining out are also extremely affordable, allowing many expats to live comfortably, far lower than what would be required in the United States. Healthcare is another factor. Tunisia has both public and private systems, and expats typically use private clinics for reliability. Routine visits are inexpensive, and private international insurance generally ranges from about $50 to $250 per month, depending on coverage. But what surprises many people the most is the lifestyle itself. Tunisia has a relaxed coastal rhythm, a strong cafe culture, and a blend of European and North African influence that creates a very different daily experience. Life here feels slower, more social, and far less stressful than what many Americans are used to. And for Americans looking for something different, not just in cost, but in culture, geography, and pace of life, Tunisia often becomes one of the most unexpected but memorable places on the list. We've arrived at our last two countries, and these countries are really unique because they make flying in and staying long-term simple. And the next country up is Paraguay. Paraguay is one of the easiest and most underrated countries in South America for Americans looking to leave quickly and begin building a new life without major financial barriers. And unlike many countries that require large bank balances, passive income, or complicated residency approvals just to get started, Paraguay has quietly become known as one of the simplest entry points for people looking for flexibility and long-term options overseas. But beyond the practical side, Paraguay is also a country many people know very little about before arriving. You'll find wide-open landscapes, smaller relaxed cities, colonial architecture, green countryside, and a pace of life that feels dramatically slower and less stressful than what many Americans are used to back home. One of the biggest advantages here is how accessible Paraguay is to enter. Americans can arrive on a tourist visa and begin living almost immediately without needing to prove monthly income up front to be there. And what makes Paraguay especially unique on this list is that many expats and retirees use it not just as a temporary base, but as an actual long-term relocation option because residency itself is considered relatively attainable compared to many other countries. For people looking to establish a foothold in South America without jumping through endless financial requirements, Paraguay has become a major hidden gem. Now, when it comes to affordability, Paraguay remains one of the lower-cost countries in the region. In the capital city of Asunción, modern apartments and decent neighborhoods can often range from about $400 to $900 per month, depending on size and location. Now, outside the capital, costs can drop even further, especially in smaller towns or quieter residential areas where many expats choose a slower lifestyle. Everyday expenses like groceries, transportation, dining out, and utilities are also significantly lower than what most Americans are used to paying. Healthcare is another reason some retirees are paying attention to Paraguay. Private healthcare is affordable by U.S. standards, with many routine visits costing a fraction of what they would back home. And private insurance plans can often range roughly from $50 to $250 per month, depending on age and coverage. But what really draws many people here is the simplicity of life itself. Paraguay feels quieter, slower, and far less chaotic than many places in the West. For Americans looking for an affordable and realistic path to starting over abroad without massive income requirements, Paraguay has quietly become one of the easiest places in the world to begin. And finally, we've arrived at the country that tops our list, and it is the Dominican Republic. The Dominican Republic is one of the easiest countries in the world for Americans to move to quickly and begin living long-term without dealing with strict residency requirements up front. And when you first arrive, it's easy to understand why so many expats and retirees end up staying. The Dominican Republic offers turquoise Caribbean water, palm-lined beaches, mountain towns with cooler weather, vibrant cities, and a laid-back island lifestyle that feels worlds away from the stress and pressure many people feel back home in the United States. There's a huge variety of lifestyles available depending on what kind of life you want. Whether you're in beach areas like Cabarete, the colonial streets of Santo Domingo, or quieter inland mountain towns like Jarabacoa, there's a huge variety of lifestyles available depending on what kind of life you want to build there. Now, what makes the Dominican Republic especially unique on this list is how relaxed the country has historically been toward long-term overstays. Americans can typically enter on a tourist entry with very little friction, and many expats simply continue living there long-term without immediately applying for residency. The Dominican Republic has long been known for using an official overstay fee system. In practice, many foreigners remain in the country beyond their original entry period, and when they eventually leave, they simply pay an overstay fee at the airport before departure, depending on how long they stayed and current immigration policies. That flexibility is one of the biggest reasons the Dominican Republic has become such a major expat and retiree destination in the Caribbean. It allows people to arrive quickly, settle in, and figure things out later without massive upfront financial hurdles. Now, when it comes to affordability, the Dominican Republic can still be surprisingly inexpensive depending on where you choose to live. In areas popular with expats, modern apartments can commonly range from about $400 to $1,200 per month depending on location, size, and proximity to the beach. Healthcare is another major factor. The country has modern private hospitals in larger cities, and many expats use private insurance plans that can range from roughly $80 to $200 per month depending on age and coverage. Routine medical care is also significantly cheaper than what most Americans are used to paying in the United States. But what really keeps many people here is the lifestyle itself. Life in the Dominican Republic tends to feel more social, more outdoors focused, and far less rushed. For Americans looking for a place where they can land quickly, start over easily, and build a long-term life without complicated barriers, the Dominican Republic remains one of the simplest and most accessible options anywhere in the world. So there you have it, 5 countries Americans can escape to in 48 hours and start living immediately. Vietnam, Costa Rica, Tunisia, Paraguay, and the Dominican Republic. Let me know in the comments below which one of these countries stood out for you the most, and if you could see yourself actually living in one of them. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe. It truly supports our channel and helps us to continue to bring content like this. And if you're ready to explore moving overseas more seriously, whether you're looking for guidance, residency assistance, or simply trying to figure out which country is the right fit for you, visit adventurefreaks.com. We'd love to help you get started on your journey abroad. And as always, thank you for viewing. I'm Ray with Adventure Freaks, showing you how to live your best life abroad.